Hello guys and welcome back. So let's move on to the body parts. First of all, the neck. So the neck has this muscle that goes from the ear to the clavicle. You can use some face to represent that first. Okay, but I would recommend to not over exaggerate that part because that could easily give you diamond shape down the way in the middle for the bending part of the neck. So you wanted to keep those lines go fairly horizontal. Okay, all right, now that goes down, right, and let's keep going and keep going one more time. Okay, all right, so that's that part. But you can see this introduces some problem. If you really want to use the loop to represent that part, then we do have to deal with the pinching of the loops going downwards, right, from the bottom of the jaw. Okay, and we can solve that by have all the lines going down and just meet each other at the bottom. Okay, so let's take a look at how we can do that. So what we can do is just have some bigger faces over here to lay out the structure first. Okay, so one more there, and then keep going. We can even just extend out. Okay, as you can see, they're pinching down to the bottom. Okay, so the strategy here is gonna be we keep them going down until we reaches here, and then we just have them meet each other in the middle. Okay, like this. Okay, so anyone who goes down this route will do that. So let's actually start adding edge loops. You can see anyone we go downwards, we can make them go this way. You can see what happens is they're going down and they're gonna go here, right? They're gonna try to meet each other at the very end. Okay. All right. Now when I look at it, I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's still too dense. I don't want it to be overpopulated down there. So let me actually change my strategy and say, how about we make them eliminate each other earlier on the top. Okay, so let me Control Z, go back a few steps. I think that's actually how much I want to go down. Okay, so anything beyond that, I don't want them to be going down anymore. So I'm going to say I can keep these guys. I can extend this guy to connect to my first segment over here. But for the others, I can keep them go this way. You can see I'm creating a pole here, and they just rotate in. Okay, over here. Whoops, let me connect the middle part. So you can see what I'm doing here is having a pole here to redirect those lines. Now what happens is those lines will also do that if you keep wrapping around this area. We can have that connected here first, but we can keep going with it. Now, at some point we will choose to stop wrapping in, but for now I think I still need to do many of these to make it work. So let me drag these guys down a little bit so that we have more gap to work in the middle. Okay, so there's one more, and let's see, so here we need more. Now you want to be really careful though, like the bottom loop for the jaw, you want this loop to be complete and represent the shape of the jaw. Okay, that's the more important thing. Okay, so let's see if I keep going from here, have one more, and you know, I may not need to do that. Let's take a look at here. I just need one more line actually going downwards, so I'm not really worried about that. So let me add one more line here and fill that in, and I can even my geometries out. I'm ending up with actually much lesser lines going down, and I'm happy with that because those problems are just gonna be around the neck, because you will never go down to the body, and because I redirect my lines down here, you can see they will all again do this, right? And you can also see I'm trying to hide away those irregularities, those looping on those parts that I don't think that are really important to the bending area. So here across the middle of the neck, I never really do that. You can see they're very even up and down, left and right loops. Okay, only these guys at the bottom, that's where I do that. So it's another strategy you may want it to adapt. Okay, so that way my topologies, my bad topologies, right? Those topologies here, not necessarily bad, but they're hidden away, right? Those irregularities, because the neck don't really need this kind of like shape to represent its deformation. The neck is more like a simple bending mechanic, right? So that's why I'm doing it this way. You can see down the way at multiple points, we end up with this structure. We have pole here, and another set of pole over here, right? There will be pole eventually if I fill that in. You can see pole here, right? So with those structures, you can easily redirect those lines and make them go other directions, or in our case, meeting each other on the other side to eliminate the polygons going down. And you can also see they're in the area that are not important, right? The bottom of the jaw, the connection from the neck to the clavicle, right? They're not representing very crucial bending areas. I keep the middle part clean. All right. Now going down from here, then we have the back of the neck. Keep extruding out. Okay. And then here, you know that the back of the neck is having like that diamond-shaped muscle, and you can use this to sort of like representing that. But I'm not worrying too much about that, and this is not a very good structure either, because you're getting this diamond shape here, and you know that the bending direction of the neck never really wanted to be there, because then you have to deal with the weighting of that and that and that, and you can see they're not on a their loop are not on the direction or perpendicular to the direction of the bending of the neck. So this is, although corresponding to the anatomy, this may not be a good practice, so sometimes people choose to do this instead, just to try to avoid having to say having to deal with that diamond shape where you're doing the weighting. One thing that was mentioning is that no matter what you do over there, what kind of a topology you end up with, it's probably going to be able to represent that shape anyways. So sometimes it will be wise to not actually trying to represent the actual anatomy underneath it if not necessary. Oh, let me really go back a little. Go back. I think I have messed that up, so I'm going to manually move this guy up. Okay. As you can see, I have those 4 loops down the way across the middle of the neck, and they're all simple loops, horizontal loops, or tilting towards the direction of the neck. Okay. And to do, with that, it's easier to do the bending and to do the weighting part of the neck very easily. Okay. Alright. And moving down here to the actual bottom of the neck, then we can start to separate the loops into different parts now. Okay, now we have that pole here. Alright, it's going out. Okay. Alright. So after this, then we can think about the structure around the bottom of the neck. The first of all, you have the clavicle, so you can actually use the loop you're having now to represent that. Okay. So sometimes people may choose to say, okay, I want the clavicle to be having a corner. So what they do is they kind of have a corner shape over there. They have that, and it's kind of like goes downwards. Like that, so they have like a corner to represent the clavicle. Okay, I personally don't really think that's super necessary. If it's simple as this, and it does represent the shape, I don't really bother having to do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna ignore that part. And as long as my lines are representing the shapes more or less, I'm not worried too much about exact match to the actual structure underneath it with my loops, but rather just the shape I'm getting. Okay, so I'm keep extending this loop to represent the clavicle wrapping around. Okay, this one. And you know that it goes to all the way actually, and it kind of wraps around all the way to the back. Okay. And you can see I'm trying to also have other loops follow along. Okay. Again, to represent the structure like this, right? You kind of wanted to have 3 faces or 3 loops to represent the top face and the 2 sides, okay, or the height of that part. Okay, and then you can also keep the other guys wrapping around. And at some point, you need to end up with a corner shape, so that loop transfers to the middle part, which is great in the middle. Okay, like that. Alright, now we can keep going down, have this guy wrapping around. And we can do the same thing for this back. You know that at this point, it does transfer to a corner, these two, so that you got again great inside loops around it. So if you can make that more clear, you can see this is a loop looping around it, right? And inside of it you have grade, okay, simple grade. All right, now keep going. Let me fill that in. Okay, all right, and then I can smooth that out to reposition some of the vertices. Okay, I don't worry about too much what's going on around this area, as long as they're easy and they're not getting too complicated. Okay, all right, now I can just extend this out and that out, add edge loop in the middle, and fill the gap in. You can hold it down, shift and drag, and they will be filled in really quickly. Alright, so that's going to be the neck part all the way to the body. Moving on to the next, we're going to go try to block out the torso. Okay, see you next time.